Hi everyone, I'm Rachel Chamness at Soundwaves Heal. Welcome today to 5D Daily Facebook group, Soundwaves Heal, Facebook, and YouTube. Okay, wait, I'll be live. Actually, I'm not quite live. Who are the Fae and Elemental beings? That's what I want to talk about today. Okay, there, I'm live. Hi everybody, welcome. I'm Rachel Chamness at Soundwaves Heal. Today I want to talk about who the Fae and Elemental beings are. I'm a shamanic channel and mentor at soundwavesheal.com, and you can find me there and at Soundwaves Heal everywhere. Everywhere you can find my podcasts, 5D Channels and Chats with Rachel Chamness. And there we go. I see people now. Hello. All right, so what are we talking about today? Today I want to talk about Fae and Elemental beings, how they can help us, how you can work with them, what they're there for, what they mean, everything. So, Fae and Elemental beings. Who are they? So, you can either call them Fae or Elemental. They mean two slightly different things, but pretty much the same. Fae and Elemental beings are all these mystical beings that you hear of, like fairies, unicorns, dragons, elves, things like that. And who are they? They are like spirit guides. If you think of them like spirit guides, like you have angels in your team, in your spirit team. So everyone has a spirit team, and in that spirit team you have angels, you have spirit guides, and your spirit guides can be angels, your spirit guides can be fae, they could be ascended masters, they could be any kind of being. Or they could be galactic, or they could just be, some being you've never heard of. So, but Fae and Elemental beings are like that. They're like spirit guides, they're like angels, they're just another type of being. Now, what's interesting about them is that they have egos. So when you call on your angels have a duty and a job to help you. So if you ask your angels to help you with something, that's like what they're supposed to do, and they will do it. Of course, they will show you where you might have a block or something that needs fixing first before they can do the thing. They can't just magic all the time. You have to learn your lessons, but that's what they do. With Fae, they have egos. Now, what does this mean? Are they mischievous? Yes, they can be, but it's always in good fun. If you have a problem with Fae and Elemental beings where you feel they're more than mischievous, that they're mean, or that they're doing bad things to you, or that they are negative beings, those are not Fae or Elemental beings. Those are shape-shifting entities of the dark who pretend to be Fae and Elemental beings. Why do they do that? Because they want to spread this falsity that Fae or Elemental beings can be bad, because if we were to work with them, we would have more health, wealth, and happiness in our lives. So it's very good to work with the Fae and Elemental beings. They're likely already there in your spirit team. You definitely have one dragon, you definitely have at least one unicorn, and you definitely have at least one fairy somewhere in there, and lots of different kinds of beings. You have so many spirit guides. You have a lot of spirit guides in your inner band, which are like the band of spirit guides that you were born with. And these are your spirit guides your whole life. And then you have lots of outer bands of spirit guides. And if you want to learn more about spirit guides, you can go to my website and get the free spirit guide masterclass, which comes with a whole bunch of lovely things like sound bath, unicorn attunement, lots of advanced meditations. But the class in itself is just a 30-minute class, and it really shows you how to have spiritual boundaries, things like that. It's really great. Soundwavesheal.com/spirit guides, or go to soundwavesheal.com, find it under courses. It is free. It's my gift to you, and I really want you guys to check that out. But back to Fae and Elemental beings. So, yes, they are good. There are only good Fae and Elemental beings now. There used to be the unseelie or whatever, but they tell me now that that is gone. That is no more on this earth. Now, what's interesting about Fae and Elemental beings is that they are of this earth. They are the 5D earthly experience that we're trying to go towards. That is their earth. That's where we're going. In the 5th dimension, in the 6th dimension, all of that, that is where the Fae are already living on Earth. They already have their Fae lands. Now, whether we will be in those lands or that it's really like a plane of existence, if we're going to be there when we get to Ascension or slightly different, I don't know, but they'll be very interchangeable. Right now, to get to those kind of Fae lands, you have to find a portal. There are some portals on Earth. Can you go through them? Not really, unless they allow you to. You either have to have a soul contract that you would go through there, like Bermuda Triangle, or stumbling on there into the elemental realms, like some of the old stories, or they'll allow you to go through that portal to experience it in higher dimensional, like trance journeying or something like that, which is stuff that I teach. But, and then you can come back. So it's a little bit different than a lot of the stories, but also sometimes they have some nuggets of truth. So when we talk about Fae and elemental beings having a ego, what it is that they want to help, but they expect something in return. So I have been teaching this for years about things that you can give your Fae. So what can you do? Let's make a banner. Hold on. Fae and elementals, they like some exchange. Let's just write this. So for years, I have been teaching people that Fae and elementals like an exchange of energy. You can have like a little Fae place. So let's say you live in an apartment, you don't have an outside yard or anything like that. Then you can get a nice little plant or big plant and just, feel around, use your intuition. Which one would be the best one for my Fae and elemental beings? Okay, and then when you find it, then, okay, this is it. So this is where you're going to give little gifts to the Fae or to give them gratitude. So you could put in here like little tiny crystals or a tiny little piece of chocolate. You can pick it back up in 3 days so you don't get like bugs or anything. Or a tiny little thimble of like fruit soda, or, they like natural things. So think of your fairies and Fae and elementals like as if they are very crunchy. So you want to give them, you don't want to give them like Coca-Cola. You might want to give them like something, like a natural grape soda or grape juice. Or you could give them, they also like booze. So you can give them like a little whiskey or a little bit of beer or something like that, wine. They like that too. So basically they just like an exchange of energy. So for years I've been telling people, give them a gift, thank them and all that stuff. But really it comes down to this. I have learned in the past year that what they really want is your gratitude. It's all about your gratitude. And it's different to be like, thank you so much. And to be like, thank you so much for doing this for me because you did. I've bought this little crystal. Look, here's a cute little one. And I'm going to put it in the little section of my plant. Or if you have a backyard, you can like choose a tree. I use a tree. I didn't get to that part, but I use a big one tree that's definitely like the fairy tree. It's got like a circle around it. It's got like a ring. Like it is totally the fairy tree. And I go put things over there all the time and I thank them. And it's a big difference to be like, here's a crystal that I chose just for you to give my gratitude. Thank you so much. Or here's a little thimble of grape juice or wine. Or here's a little piece of chocolate. Thank you so much. Thank you, fairies. Oh, I feel their energy. Oh, it's so nice. That's different than like, thank you. And then like take it off, right? So they really, really like that. So Joanne asks, I put crystals in the gardens. How often should I do it? I mean, if you're asking for them to help you, then that's when you would do it again. Or if you just feel like you feel them around or you want to call them in, I would do it. Or just every so often if you're like, oh, I haven't done it in a while. So I see all of your questions here. Hi, Glow. She's saying it's very exciting to learn about this today. She's very curious. So that's good. So what are your questions for Fae and elementals? I'll keep talking, but if you have questions, I want to answer them. So they love your gratitude. They do love to help in special ways. One thing they love is they love to help you with your health. They love to help you with flow and abundance, like abundance flowing in. And they love to help you with relationships and love. Okay. And they will help you. Yesterday, I had this private sound bath with my husband because it was our 20th wedding anniversary. It was really fun. And when I was just talking about it. The first half of there was a lot of releasing, and I was like, oh, it's kind of heavy, for my anniversaries, like date sound bath. And then finally, all this other stuff came in. I saw a lot of fae. They came and talked to me. They gave me some wonderful new techniques that I didn't know were even possible that I can't tell you now, but I'm going to be working on, see if they work. And they told me all kinds of wonderful things, and they were so helpful. In my spirit guide team, I have lots of unicorns, but one main unicorn. I have lots of dragons, but this is my one main dragon, Metrix, and he helps me quite a bit. And I even have a polar bear that is actually a type of elemental. There's plenty of elementals on this earth that we see as not just humans, that we see as animals, and they're actually in the third dimension as an animal, but they're elemental. And polar bears and lots of Arctic beings are one of those, whales, dolphins, all those things. Okay, so Glow has a great question. When will we be able to see them or make contact? Let's see if I can put this here. This is a great question, Glow. Will we be able to? Oh, I thought it was when. Yes, you can see them and make contact. Yes, you can experience them. You can see them in your third eye. You can do all of these things. I help people do this all the time by attuning them with light language and sound healing. I attune people to fae and elementals and all kinds of beings with liquid Reiki shamanic sound healing, which is a mix of light language and Reiki. And basically connect your vibration to theirs, and then you can begin to experience them. It doesn't need to be clairvoyant. You can hear them or maybe see a piece of them. Of course, clairvoyance isn't always like a perfect movie. It can just be like an outline, a piece, something that lets you know they're there, or you can feel that they're there, or anything like that. Someone asked, how do they feel? Well, when you're in a space where there's a lot of fae activity, it feels a lot of, it feels very bubbly, and they can be kind of almost like hyper happy. It can feel like that, but they all feel different. And there actually is a difference between fae and elemental as well. Like some consider themselves fae because they live in the fae lands of this 5D plane of existence on Earth. And there are also all kinds of fae elementals from other places as well, like other galactic, planets and planes. But elementals is really the word I would use that could encompass them all. And some of them rather the word elementals. They don't like the word fae because they don't consider themselves part of the fae lands so much, like dragons. But it doesn't really matter. I use both words because I just want you guys to understand. So to make contact with them, you can be attuned to them. You can ask them to attune you. You can just give gifts and start talking to them and start, trying to receive their messages. One way that can really help is if you have my deck, which is on my, it's on I'm backwards. It's on, wait, let's fix this. There we go. So if you have my deck, Elemental Magic and Manifestation, that can help you connect to the fae really well. You can find that on my website at soundwavesheal.com. They are on sale right now through November 2024. And you can find them on Amazon if you're in the USA, or on my site otherwise, and they're on sale in both places. And that is a really great way to get to know them better. Of course, I give healings and readings from them every Thursday before this live. I usually give readings with the elemental deck of mine, which is called Elemental Magic and Manifestation. And you can use that deck to get to know them better and to then invite them in. You can take any card. As you can see, my cards have a being on them. This one's Observe Your Thoughts with Tristan the Daisy Fairy. And so you can call Tristan forward. If you are more advanced, you can channel Tristan. If you are a beginner, then you can use this booklet to help you learn how to read cards. And this deck is very helpful for beginners and for advanced in the two different ways. That's kind of like me. I always like to help beginners get advanced really fast, and I love to help advanced people really get very, very advanced. I love to do that. So here's another question from Jessica. Do certain elementals Wrong one. Do certain elementals live in certain areas or environments, or can we contact anywhere? You can contact anywhere. Like I said earlier, you can make a little space for them, like a plant inside, or pick a tree or a space in your outside place. If you don't have any trees outside, you might want to plant one or do something, make a little fairy garden or something like that, and that will help. Then they will come to that space, and that's like a dedicated space that you can come to talk to them. Yeah, so Ania says, I would love if they can help me find love. They absolutely will. You can start to work with them. And I also help people attune to them, not just like in Tag Lightworkers membership or in one-to-one sessions, but also I have a Fae magic and healing program where you can connect with 4 types of elementals, bring forth their light language, bring forth their channeled healing, and then use that to heal others and get a Fae healing certification. So it's a Fae healing, Fae elemental healing certification so that you can work on others. I have that too on my site. So I help people like that all the time. The 4 in that program are mermaids, dragons, unicorns, and fairies. And if you want more of that, then Tag Lightworkers is where you're going to find all of that. That's where we are connecting to elves and all kinds of beings. And we connect to different kinds of beings too, galactic angels, all kinds of, and we connect to grids. We connect to all kinds of ascension help. It's a way to really advance and up-level yourself very easily in just 30 minutes a week. And there's also all kinds of lives where you can get individual coaching and help every week too. Yeah. So Nina has a question. Someone said not to give trait of crystals to elementals because they might be upset when you do and then forget. I do not know what that means. They might be upset when you always do. Oh, okay, I get it. Okay, so someone said not to give crystals to elementals because then if you start doing it and then you forget, they'll get mad. That's not true. And anyway, fairies will remind you. Let's say I give them crystals every once in a while, or I give them like deep gratitude. I thank them a lot. But sometimes if I don't, I'll get this insistent feeling, ooh, I should give the fairies a little something. Ooh, I need to give fairies a gift. Ooh, I need to give fairies a gift. It's like, it does not leave me. Like the fae are like, ding, 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 ding. Hey, we need you to give us a gift. And why do they want me to do that? So that I go out there and spend some time with them, give them the gratitude, ask them for their help, connect with them deeper. It's all about that. They're not just like, oh, you have to give us a gift because we have egos and we deserve a gift. No, they just want to know that it's an exchange of information. It's an exchange of energy because, energy exchange is really important on this planet. We need that energy exchange because that is what we do. Like for Reiki, that's the first thing you learn. That has to be a exchange of energy. It's very, very important. Here's a good question. When your imagination sees some elementals, is this already a connection? Yes. So your imagination is not false. It's not fake. On the back of my cards, you'll see this. Perhaps imagination is and always has been a glimpse into another reality. That's my quote. And that's exactly what it is. It's a glimpse into another reality, another dimension, another density, another place or plane. That's what your imagination is. It's information from your spirit guides. It's telling you something. It's not made up. That's gaslighting. That's how we were gaslit. Lately, my whole garden was covered in light bugs. Oh, yeah. I feel love all around me. That was incredible. Yes. Those are a little fae for sure. And Shauna says, Tag has been awesome for me. I love it. Kayla says, love my elementals. And Krish has a question. How can we make our fae acknowledge us for the first time? So if you want fae to acknowledge you, let's see. Let me see if I can copy this. This is from Krish in 5D Daily. How can we make our fae, it's actually F-A-E, but of course if you're using Siri, if you're using talk text, they always misspell it. How can we make our fae acknowledge us for the first time. You can't make them do anything because they have egos, but if you're kind and you give them gratitude in whatever ways and you invite them in and you ask them, then you can. Do you want to attune to a fae? Would you like to attune to elemental unicorns? I have a free I can't talk. I have a free unicorn attunement. It's sound healing, so it's pleasant. I was a professional opera singer, so if I sing at you, it's not terrible. And it comes in the free program that I give you, which is Spirit Guide Masterclass program. It's at soundwavesheal.com/spirit guides. Why don't you try that and invite the unicorns into your space? And that will be an easy way to begin to work with unicorns and other beings. There's also a meditation in there to meet a galactic fairy. What's that? That's a fairy that's not an earth fairy. Most of our elementals that we know are earth beings, but there are galactical ones as well. And you can do that and even download a galactic fairy healing modality. This is the kind of stuff we do in tag. So I have a couple of free tag things in the Spirit Guide Masterclass bundle because what's in tag is immense. It's over 65 programs like that. It's the kind of thing where you just do a little at a time. You kind of keep up with the present moment, and when you can binge, you can do lots of stuff, and it's always there for you. So I love my Tag Lightworkers membership. Oh, thank you, Courtney. That's very sweet. Thank you. Okay, so any other questions? Here's one. Ooh. Here's Glow's question. And I've never been asked this question before. This is great. Can I incorporate herbs that I use for rituals as gifts to my fae, or is it specifically the items that I mentioned? No, you can do anything you want. I hear all kinds of different ways that people give gifts to the fae. The only thing I would say don't do is remember to think of them like very crunchy, like you don't want to give them, first of all, don't ever give them glitter. Some people say give fae glitter, but it's plastic and it's not good for the environment. They are very, very concerned with the environment of Earth because it's their Earth that we are on in a lower dimension. They're very dedicated to children and pets. And so if you hear, like I said earlier, they don't really do mean things, but if you are mean to animals, if you are mean to children, and if you are terrible to the environment, then the fae might take your keys and they will think it's hilarious. And they might put them in another dimension and you may never see them again. But none of you are going to do anything like that. And for the most part, they don't really do things like that. I'm sure they bring them back. But they sometimes will take your stuff in another dimension. And usually it's until you figure it out. Like it's until you figure out why they did it. They've done it to me many times where they took something and I was like, what is this about? And sometimes they take things for a specific reason that you don't know. Like they might take a ring because you never cleared it. You can't have a diamond ring that you don't clear. That diamond rings, especially like wedding rings and stuff, they absorb a lot of healing. Diamonds are they're a very healing stone. And diamonds can really soak up a lot of negativity. And if you don't clear that, they may take your diamond ring into another dimension and clear it for you. And that dimension doesn't have the same timeline as we do. So it might be a while before it comes back out again. Or you might need to say, what do I need to do to get you to return this? What is it that you need me to learn? They might be doing it to teach you something. It's not always mean. So when I hear people say, oh, the fae hate me, they're mad at me, that really makes me sad. First of all, they're not mad at you unless you're kicking a dog or you're a mean person, which none of you are. Everyone here is a light worker, I'm sure. So there is, that. But for the most part, they're very kind and they are here to help you. But if you're going to resist them and talk mean to them and be rude to them and things like that, then it's not going to go well for you because, then they might do a few little mischievous things, but they don't do horrible things to you. That's usually, like I said in the beginning, an entity. There are many negative entities that pretend to be fae. They pretend to be gargoyles or things like that because they want you to dislike the fae. So the ones they normally pretend to be are like gargoyles and gremlins, but there's actually good ones. That's just not really what they are. So, don't be fooled by that. That's because the elementals can help us so much, and they want to keep us from doing that. So, I hope this was a good little overview about fae and elemental beings. Of course, I have a full class, part 1 and part 2, plus all kinds of attunements in Tag Lightworkers, where I'd love to see more of you at. It's on my page, soundwavesheal.com. You can find, here we go. To learn more about Transformation Ascension Group for Lightworkers, which is Tag, which is a huge program that you can take little bites out of every week to keep on top of your ascension, to open your channeling, and to really ride this wave of ascension. Ride this wave of ascension in a way that keeps you on top of it and keeps you moving forward. And there's so many resources in there to keep you from getting stuck. So I hope that helps. And I'll see you another time. I hope that you will work with the fae, with the elementals. Let them help you in your love life. Let them help you with your family, with your relationships. Let them help you with your health. And just invite them in, because they're beautiful beings. They really are. And they're fun. One big thing is they love to teach you to have fun. Sometimes they take your keys or something like that because they're like, lighten up, lady. Look at the way you're running around your house looking for your keys and acting all crazy. Do you know what I mean? And they're just like, lighten up. And then you can stop yourself and be like, okay, I'm acting crazy. Like, do I really need to be doing this right now? And then you're like, okay, I get it. And then I can hear them laughing. I'm like, okay, give them back to me, right? So, or maybe they're trying to teach you that you should have a little place where you hang your keys every time you come in. They taught me that a long time ago, and I haven't lost my keys since. So yeah, let's keep it that way. So, Jessica has a good question. Is there a list of what types of elementals help with specific things? Yes, there is. I have a 2-part elemental class in Tag Lightworkers that talks about all the different kinds of elementals, how they help and what they do. And that's actually what we do in Tag. Every month, well, actually what's the best way to say this? 6 times a year we have a new program. So every 2 months we have a new program. And in each program, it's a group of beings who come forward to help us with ascension, connect to grids or healing modalities, things like that. They also help us heal, to release what it's time to release, and then they teach us what they help with. So like each time we have someone, they're like, we're here because we help with this thing, and this is how you can use this thing, and this is how you can heal yourself, and this is how you can do this. And it's a very easy to do, even if you're busy. If you can, gosh, I hope that you can spend 30 minutes a week working on yourself in the spiritual realm. I mean, at least you should be doing that like at least every other day or something. So that's what they do. So in there, I talk all about how all the elementals help, and also angels, different ascension guides, different galactical beings, things like that, so that we know who to call on, which angel to call on, or all that stuff. I think it's helpful. Okay, bye everybody. Thanks so much for coming, and see you next week.